The clock shows 9 o'clock. I will be acting chair this morning, and I'd like to call the meeting of the Sauk County Board of Adjustment to order. Are we in compliance with the open meeting laws?
Yes.
I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as provided.
I would so move.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None are opposed. I would also entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting that were included on Granicus.
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. My name is Robin Meyer. With me today are David Allen and Jamie Phelps. The process today is the staff will read the public notice. LRE staff will then give us the background and history. The board may ask questions of the staff. Then the applicant will be allowed to give testimony. The town will be allowed to give testimony. And then those speaking in favor of the request, those speaking in opposition to the request, and those wishing to appear as interest may appear. When everybody has appeared, we will ask 3 times if there are any others, and if not, the board will go into deliberation. If you wish to speak, please make sure you complete one of the slips in the back and provide it to the LRE staff. Have all of the petitions been properly noticed?
Yes.
Okay, we can start with appeal number SP 13-2022. Please read the notice.
Please take note that the Sauk County Board of Adjustments will hold a public hearing on July 28th, 2022 at 9 a.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter may be heard in the County Boardroom of Sauk at Sauk County West Square Building in the city of Baraboo to consider petition 13-2022, granting a special exceptions permit pursuant to section 7.036, paragraph 5, subparagraph I, to authorize operation of a lodging house. The property is located on the real estate described as E11604A Park Road, located in part of the northeast corner, section 14, town 11 north, range 6 east, town of Baraboo, as further described in the petition 13-2022. Tax parcel identification number is 002-0393-00000, owned by Devil's Lake Crossing LLC.
Thank you. Please state your name and your affiliation.
Tate Hillman, Sauk County Land Resources and Environment.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth to the best of your ability?
I do.
Continue.
Okay. This request is from Devil's Lake Crossing to operate a lodging house on a property that was used historically as a schoolhouse. The applicants applied for and were previously denied a special exception permit request to operate a lodging house on the property for failure to meet the standards of a set for permit approval. The applicant is reapplying for a special exception permit to operate this property as a lodging house. Analysis, it's currently zoned agricultural. Relevant ordinances include the Town of Baraboo town ordinances. Adjacent zoning and land uses are as follows. The property is zoned agriculture and the proposed land use is as a lodging house. The property to the north is zoned single-family residential and is a lodging house. To the south is single-family residential and is a lodging house. To the east is single-family residential and single-family residences there. And to the west is zoned agricultural and has a single-family residential use. Parking, the property has 7 parking spaces available and will meet the requirements of section 7.092, paragraph 5, subparagraph B. Septic and sanitary, the property is connected to the city of Baraboo wastewater treatment system or septic system. Well, the home is served by a private well. Property access, the site has existing access from Park Road. And stormwater, the residence is not required to meet any additional stormwater regulations. Zoning ordinance standards and criteria. In review of special exception, the board shall follow the standards of section 7.152, paragraph 5 and paragraph 6. Special exception standards. A, the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the proposed use may not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, or general welfare of the occupants of surrounding lands. The findings, the establishment and operation of the property as a lodging house does not appear to be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, or general welfare of the surrounding lands. The property owners plan to impose quiet hours for all guests, as well as administer house rules along with rules required by the listing agents. The appearance of the structure will be maintained as the applicants are working to restore the building, which was once used as a schoolhouse, and to bring it into compliance with Uniform Dwelling Code to ensure safety of guests and the public. B, the use will be designed, constructed, operated, and maintained so as to be compatible and be appropriate in appearance with the existing or intended character of the general vicinity, and that such use may not change the essential character of the area by substantially impairing or diminishing the use, value, or enjoyment of the existing or future permitted uses in the area. The findings, the house is existing and is appropriate in appearance with the character of the general vicinity. The surrounding area is characterized by single-family residential homes and lodging houses, which are similar in appearance and use. In reviewing the special exception, the Board of Adjustment shall consider the following. A, the erosion potential of the site based on topography, drainage, slope, soil type, and vegetative cover and mitigation of erosion potential. The findings, the erosion potential of the site is low. The proposed use does not appear to cause potential damage to drainage, slope, vegetative cover, or any of these other items. There are no plans at this time for any new exterior construction that would impact erosion potential. B, the prevention and control of water pollution, including sedimentation and the potential impacts on floodplain and wetlands. The findings, there are no plans for exterior construction at this time. This use should not cause any water pollution or sedimentation concerns. There does not appear to be any potential impacts to floodplain or wetlands, and there are no wetlands, streams, or floodplain adjacent to the property. C, whether the site has adequate utilities, including, if necessary, acceptable disposal systems. The findings, the site has an existing connection to sewer, water, and electric. D, whether the site has access to roads and highways. The site has existing access to Park Road. E, whether the site has suitable ingress and egress. The findings, the site has suitable ingress and egress from Park Road. F, whether the site is designed to minimize traffic congestion and the potential effect on traffic flow. The findings, the parking shall be in compliance with section 7.0925, paragraph 5, subparagraph B for lodging house uses, which is 4.5 parking stalls per 1,000 square feet of floor area. 7 parking stalls are provided on site, and it does not appear that there will be an increase in traffic flow outside of a normal residential use for this property. Zoning ordinance secondary standards, section 7.083 for lodging houses. 1, a septic verification or a sanitary permit shall be required from Sauk County for any building that results in any change in use of the structure from the original use that results in an increased volume of wastewater above that for which the system was originally designed. Where cases of doubt exist as to the need of a sanitary permit, Sauk County shall be contacted before the change in use is made, and the zoning administrator shall determine if the need for a sanitary permit. The findings, the property is connected to the City of Baraboo sewer system, which can handle the wastewater produced on the property. 2, the property must obtain all federal, state, and local permits. The findings, the applicant has been informed they need to contact Sauk County Public Health Department to ensure the applicable health department license is acquired by meeting the requirements of state statutes to protect those who stay on the property. This license is a condition of the permit if approved. 3, the permit shall be issued to the owner of the residence. It would not be transferable. The findings, the applicant has been made aware of this provision, and it is a recommended condition of the permit if approved. 4, annual inspection fee shall be established by the agency and be payable to Sauk County by June 1st of each year. The findings, the applicant has been made aware of this provision, and it is a recommended condition of the permit if approved. Plan Commission Town recommendation. The Town Board of Baraboo has recommended approval of the special exception permit request at the June 13th, 2022 Town Board meeting. Land Resources and Environment staff recommendations based upon the information provided and analysis of section 7.152, paragraph 5 and paragraph 6, and section 7.083 of the Sauk County Code of Ordinances. Staff submits that the application meets the standards and requirements for a special exception permit to be approved. The department recommends approval. Should the Board of Adjustment choose to approve the special exception permit, staff would recommend the following conditions be considered. A, all work on and use of the premises shall proceed with the plans and supplemental evidence presented at the hearing. It is the responsibility of the applicant to secure all required town, state, federal, and county permits. B, no work or rentals shall be commenced prior to receiving the Board of Adjustment decision letter and securing the required permits. C, off-street parking shall be in compliance with Sauk County zoning ordinance. D, the applicant shall secure a state of Wisconsin lodging house or rooming house license to operate and said license shall be provided to the department before any rentals can take place. The state license shall be renewed every year and provided to the department annually, no later than June 30th. Failure to comply with this condition shall result in automatic suspension of the special exception permit and may result in revocation. E, the applicant shall meet the standards of Chapter ATCP 72 and provide the department with proof of compliance prior to being issued a Sauk County land use permit. No rentals shall take place until the department receives proof of said compliance. F, the permit shall be issued to the owner of the residence and would not be transferable. G, no permit to initiate the special exception permit shall be issued until after building inspections by the Town of Baraboo Building Inspector have passed and notification of the approval by the building inspector and town board has been received by Sauk County LRE. H, an annual inspection fee shall be payable to the department by June 1st of each year as long as said provision is required by the Sauk County zoning ordinance. This inspection fee is due on approval and shall be paid prior to a land use permit being issued. I, Sauk County Land Resources and Environment shall be granted permission to view the site to ensure compliance with these conditions and other relevant provisions of Sauk County ordinances. The power to ensure compliance with these conditions is given to the Sauk County Land Resources and Environment. If the department finds any of these conditions have been violated, they are hereby authorized to take corrective action, either through suspension of the permit, citations, or by any means of enforcement that is within their power. J, failure by the applicant to follow all of the conditions set forth by the Sauk County Board of Adjustment is grounds for suspension or revocation of the special exception permit and possible enforcement action. In order to have the special exception permit reinstated after suspension, the applicant must comply with all conditions established by the Board of Adjustment as determined by the Sauk County Land Resources and Environment Director or appear in front of the Board of Adjustment. In order to have the special exception permit reinstated after revocation, the applicant must appear in front of the Board of Adjustment for a new hearing and comply with all requirements as outlined in this letter. Department recommendation is approval of petition 13-2022, and we do have a video of the site. This is looking to the west on Park Road, and then we are turning towards the north, and this is looking towards the property itself then. So this is the old schoolhouse itself. This is what side faces Park Road. And then we will be seeing the accessory structure on the property to the east side there, and then we'll be now looking down Park Road to the east towards Devil's Lake State Park. And then these are the residences that are across the road from there, with this one directly across from there being another lodging house. And this is looking now back to the west now.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Tate? I have one, Tate.
Yep.
You mentioned that there's 7 parking stalls, but
Yep.
page 2 of the application says there's parking for 5 vehicles. Is 5 sufficient, or are there actually 7?
There are 7 based on the parking plan that was provided
Okay.
by the applicant. I will double check that, and that may need to be amended in my report then at the end.
Okay, would 5 would still comply with their requirements, if that's what it is?
I would need to double check that to verify that. I do have the floor plans here. Otherwise, I will let the applicant discuss that, and then we
Okay.
can revisit that if needed. I
No
think that may
problem.
work better.
Okay, thank you. Would the applicant come forward?
Good morning.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Neil Matson, E11604A Park Road, Baraboo.
And would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth to the best of your ability?
I do.
Thank you. You may begin.
First I'll address the parking. It actually is established for 7, so in front of the driveway, when the initial application was submitted, we didn't have that groomed out properly like it is now today when we had it professionally landscaped, so it would actually park more than 7, but we set it at 7 parking spaces, so.
Seven is
Yeah.
actually there.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. It's been a 2-year journey, so thanks to the town and Mr. Janikowski, we went through a lot, and I would probably have to say we might have probably the safest house in the county to live in at this point in time, and it took a lot of time to understand everything that had to be done to get it in compliance, and Mark Janikowski explained it to me at the last time he was at the house to go through the final inspection, which got us to our final approval to the township, was even the slightest thing off by 3/8 of an inch, the lawyers are coming into the building, and we're gonna be the ones that are gonna be liable. So we slowed our whole process down on the direction of the town board also, and wanted to make sure that everything was in compliance. And when we took the building over 2 years ago, it was starting to be into the condition of gonna start to collapse and fall down. And we have taken a lot of pride in the fact that we have restored an 1877 schoolhouse. The exterior wood is still the original wood of the schoolhouse, except for the additions that have been put on at a time prior to us, the screen porch, and then there's a back bedroom off the back side of the house. Renovated the entire interior, had all electricians' permits signed off, the plumbing has been signed off, and then Mark Janikowski signed off on the property, which went over to the town of Baraboo. So I have been in contact with down in Madison with the State Historical Site, and they're doing some digging for us. But if you do a search on it, it does show up in the Sauk County 1877 as a historical school site, because there's take the tour of Sauk County Historical Schools and what so forth. So the schoolhouse does appear on that as a listing. So we take a lot of pride in what we did. I think the building has turned out beautiful. I've been living there for 2 years, so and the location is unbelievable where it sits out in the state park, except for all the traffic right at that corner. But other than that, it's pretty good. So.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for the applicant? Are all the renovations completed then now?
Everything is done. Yep, nope, we've been waiting for this meeting. We were at the town board back in June. After we had all the inspections completed, we have done nothing. The only other thing we're looking at doing in the future will be go back and get a permit to do this, but there's the ability to add a 3rd bathroom downstairs. So, because down in the basement, it's kind of neat. It still has the original boys and girls signs on the doors. 1 bathroom's completed. The other one, if at some point in time we do, it would be a 1/4 bath that would be completed to add an additional facility.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And we have a representative from the town. Would you like to speak? Please state your name and address for the record.
Randy Putcomer, S5828 Lehman Road, Baraboo, and I'm on the town board and also on the plan commission.
Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth to the best of your ability?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. As the applicant stated, it's really been a long, drawn-out process for them, but as some of you on the committee know, Town of Baraboo probably has more of these than anyone else, and we've gone to great detail writing our ordinance to protect the rest of the community. And so we require a packet, which they have delivered. The township, we've gone to a 5-year permit purely because that way, if complaints come in, the town will have the opportunity to come back and say, you know, this isn't rectified, you're done. We don't have to wait the 5 years. But on this particular one, as he stated, they found the difficulties when you take an older building and you try and make it comply with today's standards. But again, the general engineering, who does our engineering, Mark Jankowski, they signed off, everything met, yeah, and it was windows, steps, David. So, but again, it's been a long process, but everything is complete. And so the town would recommend, ask you for approval of this because they've worked hard at it.
Thank you. Does anyone have questions for the town? No? Thank you. Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the petition? Is there anyone that would like to speak in opposition of the request? Is there anyone wishing to appear as interest may appear? Okay, I have to ask 3 times. So are there any additional public comments regarding this application? Are there any additional public comments on the application? Are there any additional public comments on the item? No additional questions from the board for anyone? Hearing that there are none, we will close the public hearing and go into deliberation. Thoughts?
As Randy said, town of Baraboo has quite a few of these lodging houses. Doesn't seem to be any problems with them, and if there is, they have the ability to pull a permit. When the township's in favor of it, I think our work is pretty much done.
Jamie?
I agree with the majority of that, yeah, absolutely. Everything's been met, and I would go forward with approval.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion with the staff's recommendations.
I would second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the application as presented with the conditions as listed by the LRE staff. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? You're approved. Thank you. Okay, we will move on to petition SP 14-2022. Would the staff read the notice, please?
Please take notice that the Sauk County Board of Adjustments will hold a public hearing on July 28th at 9 a.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter may be heard in the county boardroom at Sauk County West Square Building in the city of Baraboo to consider petition 14-2022, a petition to consider a special exception permit pursuant to S 7.036, paragraph 5, subparagraph I of the Sauk County zoning ordinance to authorize continued operation of a lodging house. The property is located on real estate described as a portion of E 3048 Marble Quarry Road, located in part of the southeast quarter, northwest quarter, northeast corner, southwest corner, section 29, town 10 north, range 3 east, CSM 6634, lot 2, town of Bear Creek, and further described in the petition 14-2022. Tax partial identification number is 004-0880-20000, owned by Jeffrey Wright and Emily Benz.
Thank you. Please state your name and affiliation.
Gina Templin Stewart, LRE Department.
Do you swear to tell the truth to the best of your ability?
I do.
Thank you.
I have a special exception permit request from Emily Benz and Jeffrey Wright for the renewal of a lodging house special exception permit. Their request started back in 2017 to operate a lodging house on their property. Since then, the department has received no complaints, and the applicant is looking for an additional 5-year permit to continue their short-term rental operation. Reviewing the standards, parking, the property has ample parking spaces available, and they shall meet the parking requirements of 7.092, print 5, print B. The property is connected to a shared septic system, and no changes are requested through this renewal. The home is also served by a private well, and no changes are requested through the renewal. The property has existing access from Marble Quarry Road, and the lodging house is existing and no land disturbance will take place. Therefore, there are no stormwater issues as part of this review. The zoning criteria of 7.152, print 5 and print 6. The establishment maintenance operation may not be detrimental. The establishment and operation of the property as a lodging house does not appear to be detrimental or endanger public health safety. The property owners plan to impose quiet hours for the guests as well as administer the house rules. The appearance of the structure will be maintained. The use to be designed, constructed, operated, and maintained to be compatible. Again, the house is existing and is appropriate in appearance with the character of the general vicinity, and the surrounding area is characterized by ag and single-family residential uses. The erosion potential of the site The erosion potential is low as there's no development associated with this proposed use. The prevention and control of water pollution, there's no development again associated with this permit. And the short-term rental use should not cause any water pollution or sedimentation concerns, and there does not appear to be any potential impacts on the floodplain or wetland. Whether the site has adequate utilities, the site does have an existing connection to sewer and water and electricity. Whether the site has access to roads and highways, again, they have access to Marble Quarry Road. Whether the site has suitable ingress and egress, they do have suitable ingress and egress from Marble Quarry Road. And whether the site is designed to minimize traffic congestion and potential effect on traffic flow. Again, the parking shall be in compliance with 7.092, Pren 5, Pren B, and they do meet that requirement. There's plenty of parking available, and they have a long driveway which takes vehicle traffic off of and away from Marble Quarry Road. The secondary standards of 7.083 for lodging houses, a septic verification or sanitary permit. The previous permit was issued in 2017, provided the department with a septic verification. The department has also obtained a pout sizing affidavit which allows the septic to be sized based on the number of persons versus the number of bedrooms that are connected to the pouts. The property must obtain all federal, state, and local permits. The applicant is aware of this criteria and is a recommended condition if it's approved. The permit shall be issued to the owner of the residence and would not be transferable. Again, the applicant has been made aware of this provision and is a recommended condition of the permit if it's approved. Annual inspection fee established by the agency payable to the county by June 1st. Again, they are aware of this condition, and it would be due for 2022 if this request is approved, as they have not paid for that yet this year. Plan Commission and Town Recommendation. The Town of Bear Creek Plan Commission met on June 28th and forwarded a recommendation of approval to the full town board. And the Bear Creek Town Board met on July 12th and recommended approval of the special exception permit, and that is attached to your packet. The department recommendation. Based on the information provided in the analysis of 7.152, Pren 5 and 6, and 7.083, the Sauk County Code of Ordinances, staff submits that this application meets the standards and requirements for the special exception permit to be approved, and the department recommends approval of this application. Should you choose to approve this permit today, staff would recommend the following conditions be considered. That the special exception lodging house use shall be established and operated in accordance with the testimony, plans, specification, and information provided as part of the record to the department with the application and to the Board of Adjustment during this hearing today. The applicant shall apply for and be issued a land use permit by the department. It is the responsibility to secure all town, state, federal, and county permits. No work or rental shall commence prior to receiving the decision letter, and a land use permit can only be issued following the decision letter by the board. Off-street parking shall be in compliance with the Sauk County zoning ordinance, and no parking associated with the short-term rental shall be on Marble Quarry Road. The applicant shall secure a Wisconsin lodging house rooming permit to operate before any rentals can take place. They do have that permit through the Public Health Department. The applicant shall meet the standards of ADCAP 72 and provide the department with proof of that compliance, which they have done so already. The permit shall be issued to the owner of the residence at the time of the hearing and is non-transferable. An annual inspection fee shall be payable to the department by June 1st of each year, so long as the provision is included in our ordinance. And the department shall be granted permission to view the site to ensure compliance, and failure by the applicant to follow all conditions set forth by the Board of Adjustment as grounds for suspension or revocation of the special exception permit and possible enforcement action. Do you have any questions? And there is no video of the site. I took pictures of the site. It's quite a large site, so you'd get to see a lot of trees, some wetlands, and a farm. So,
And this has been functioning as a lodging house already with,
you don't even know it's there.
with no complaints
Nope.
issued while it's been operating.
Nope. They, the lodging house, it's, they did a certified survey to separate the actual structure from their farm structures. So the unit actually sits right behind their own house. So they're actually on site all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
No questions? Thank you.
Okay.
Would the applicant appear?
Good morning. Ted Greenheck, S10970 Dane Hill Road, speaking on behalf of Jeff and Emily, nearby neighbors. And it's also fair to I represent the town as a PC chair. And,
Thank you.
and working with the town as well.
What would you like to tell us
Well,
today?
the rights, sorry they can't be here, being a school.
Oh. Please raise your right
Oh, I'm
hand.
sorry.
Do you swear to tell the truth to the best of your ability?
I certainly do.
Thank you.
So Jeff and Emily, sorry they can't be here. Being a school administrator, he's got a small window for vacation, and it was important for them to get the permit established and keeping their customers coming. So,
Okay.
been in existence. Not aware of any problems that they've indicated to me, nor that of the township. Gina made a fair representation. You wouldn't even know it's there, off the road. Important to note, we got to interview them as PC, and the people that come to stay there actually are coming to stay there to see what the area is like, to see if they want to live here. So I didn't ever take that into consideration, that a lot of people, are doing that. So that's a fair assessment of what these lodging houses do in our area.
Awesome. Any other questions for the applicant?
I don't know.
No? Thank you very much.
You bet.
Is there anyone that wants to appear in favor, in opposition, or as interest may appear? Any public comments? Any public comments? Any public comments? Hearing none, we'll go into deliberation. I will close the public hearing. Thoughts?
Pretty straightforward, I think. All the last 5 years have been no complaints, they're in compliance. And like it's been mentioned, you never know what would be there.
They should all be that convenient.
That's right, exactly.
Do you have any thoughts, David?
Just there hasn't been any problems. Kind of like the last one.
Town supports it?
Town
so we're
supports
good
it.
there.
That's a big issue with me.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve this
I would move that we approve it.
with the department's conditions.
Yes.
I'll make a second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Your permit is approved.
Thank you.
Our next meeting will be Thursday, August 25th, 2022. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I would move that we adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Have a good day.